Welcome back to Chris Greenhill's Garage.
It's my channel, and I'm Chris.
I'm also Chris. Anyways, in this video, it's all victories and smiles and winning. White trash leaves the garage. Oh, yeah, spoiler alert. Anyway, white trash successfully leaves the garage for the first time since 1999. 26 long years. You know what? We don't need any more intro. Let's get to it. It's white trash time. The car, not me. The car. Anyway. The first step to getting Project White Trash rolling again was to put my wheels back on it. We gave Junior his Cobra R wheels back on his car, and I took my Weld racing wheels back. He liked the way the welds looked, but he hated dealing with the lug nuts. I can't say that I blame him. I just put all four wheels back on, and God, I hate these things. They're such a pain. I either didn't know or I forgot that our drag radials on the back here are only 235s. Very, very small drag radials. So no wonder Junior's car was blowing them off left and right. This car is going to blow them off even worse. Here soon I'll need bigger wheels once this thing gets on the road. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the battery back up here. I'm going to give up on the trunk mounted battery. I'm not getting a good signal through those battery cables. I don't know what's going on with it. No matter how well I ground it, no matter how well I connect it, it just isn't wanting to start. As soon as we hook a battery up to the front here, it was firing up. So I'm going to put the battery back down here somehow. I'm going to move all this. I do not have a battery tray right now, so I got to figure something out. I do not have a battery tray, which sucks, but even if I did, things are going to get crowded over here. The MSD, the starter solenoid, the fuel pressure regulator. Oh, man, it would be so much easier to just mount the battery over here, but then I've still got to run the cables around, and I want as short a battery cable as possible to get as good a starter signal as possible and get this thing to fire up. I'm limited as to where I can move the solenoid and all that because of the factory harness, but I need to do something else. Do not know what this is or where it came from. It says made in Canada. It looks somewhat like a battery tray, but I don't think it's for this car. That is definitely a battery tray of some sort. It just does not fit in this car at all. I'm not sure what it's off of. This is looking like a better idea by the minute. It would still require me running everything over here, but I mean, it's a lot less battery cable. We'd be down to like 3 or 4 feet versus 20 feet. For now, the battery's just sitting in here in that box. I've got it grounded in the fender, just using a piece of old ground wire. I've got the hot wire run in front of the radiator support and around to the starter solenoid. Tighten everything down and see if this thing is going to work. Key on, and the MSD box did blink. Hopefully this thing's good to go. Oh, ignore the fact that I don't have a distributor right now. That's this whole other thing with Junior's car. I'm not sure if my push button's burned out or what. Every time I push it, the MSD starts up, so that means it's connected, but nothing is happening. That's annoying. Let's see if it's the push button or the starter itself. Great. Or it's the solenoid. Oh man, come on. Really? I have 12.7 volts everywhere. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, for God's sake, come on. Really? This again. I have double and triple checked everything. I have no idea what's wrong with this thing. Ooh, that's a good clean crank with all the plugs in it. Okay, so something I double and triple checked has worked because now we're firing again. Awesome. I reset the cylinder number one, top dead center. I shoved Junior's distributor in there for a minute. I don't think this distributor is working. This whole other thing with his car. Let's see if it'll fire by any chance. Well, I don't think this distributor is going to fire, but that is the best crank that we've had of this thing with this new battery relocation. Oh, come on. No fuel pressure again. This again. Damn it. I am very dumb. I have the MSD heavy black and heavy red wired into the solenoid, so I'm not getting cranking power. I got to rewire those. Rewired. Everything should be good to go now. There we go. Why are we not running? What is going on? This has just been sitting here. This thing was hand loose again. It's just pouring gas everywhere. There's not even fuel pressure yet. Good grief. We finally drew fuel pressure, and it did burble a second ago off camera. Come on, baby. Really wish I had someone else here to record while I do this. We had an actual fireball and an actual fire on the carburetor. That was fun. It is liking the fireball. We're going to back up a little. So close. Getting closer. Weird. There we go. All right. No. Okay, I definitely got to adjust the distributor. It's what they like to call a tooth off, I'm pretty sure. There we go. Shaking a little bit today. Not running great. Alright, I can't time it with just me by myself, but I tried to, and I couldn't even find the timing mark. The light was all over the place. This distributor's all over the place. Like I said, this is off Junior's car, and it is having issues, so it's not going to be able to be timed today. I'm out of time today. I'll come back in a few days and hopefully get this thing actually starting, running, idling, etc. again. Brand new distributor installed. Hopefully we're going to be able to set the timing on this thing and get it to fire. We're not off to a great start. What on earth? Stalled out as soon as I dropped it below 20 degrees. Weird. Got it set at 14 degrees. Idling fairly strong. I'm happy with this. The last thing I want is to make sure this will start twice in a row and maintain that same idle. Oh yeah, fired right up. Perfect. I may be suffering some mild carbon monoxide poisoning right now, but totally worth it to hear my cam chop. The shifter is sitting there, but it's not actually installed because it doesn't clear the floor pan, so I can't get bolts in the back of it. Next thing I got to do is cut out a spot to install the shifter, close up the big opening around it from the old shifter, and then get a clutch cable and a throttle cable in here. This thing will be ready to roll out. I wish I didn't have to do this, but there's really not much of a choice. I can finally reach the shifter. Now if only I knew where the other two bolts were and my handle. I can't find my shift handle at all. It walked out of here a while back and I haven't seen it. Thinking someone might have borrowed it. Well, hot damn, I finally found my shift handle and my shift ball. Found a couple of bolts for the shifter. So now I can start focusing on getting the clutch cable adjusted and lined up and getting the transmission filled up and start testing it out. Hopefully I'm going to have a throttle cable on this thing here in a couple of hours. I went down and got a new mounting stud for the throttle cable. Hopefully that's going to work and is the right size. And I got the only throttle cable bracket I could find anywhere locally at all. It's these universal, it's kind of janky, kind of cheap and flimsy, but hopefully throttle cable will hook into this thing and hook here and will work. We'll find out in a couple hours when it shows up. Got the throttle cable in finally. It appears to be correct for the car. Cannot get it to fit with this universal bracket thing. So I'll have to play with it a bunch and see what I can figure out. Junior's car has a very similar setup and has worked fine for years. So I guess I'll just do something similar and just drill some holes and make some modifications. I think I finally have this set up to the proper depth, the proper distance to attach this. I just got to go inside and hook it to the gas pedal. I'm not fond of how much this twists and snakes around. It's really kind of awkward feeling when you pull on the cable, but I'm going to go see if it'll work inside. It looks like we have working throttle cable. Of course, I don't actually have anyone here who can test it out with me. Guess I can just start the thing and see if it works inside. Let's go see if the throttle cable works inside. Uh-oh, the return spring is not working, that's for sure. Yeah, the return spring is binding. It's not returning it all the way. I gotta work on that. I made a small adjustment to the throttle cable. Let's hope it returns. Beautiful startup. It's working under the hood. Let's see if it works on the pedal. Nope, not returning completely. I think I'm going to attach another piece to this and put a relatively large return spring on this to pull this backwards. Not really anywhere to mount it on the front up here, but if I mounted the back here and if I put this bracket on it and put the spring on it, hopefully that'll return the carburetor every time. A couple of weeks ago I had a spring. I found a pretty good quality heavy duty spring and I thought to myself, that'll make a great carburetor return spring. And I put it somewhere and I don't know where I put it. So now I guess I'll go buy another one, and here in a couple of weeks I'll find the original one. And oh well. The carburetor is leaking everywhere. Good grief. I came through here with a nut driver and snugged all these down. The bowl bolts were hand loose. I'm guessing all the gaskets have just kind of shrunk up a little bit over time. Looks like the accelerator pump is leaking too, so the carburetor may have to come off to fix that. That is definitely a future Chris problem, because today's Chris is busy. Looks like I will need somewhere in the range of a 5 to 7 inch spring. I'm thinking 6 will be just about perfect. Yeah, 6 looks right. Alright, got a throttle return spring on there even without the throttle cable. It returns it fully. So I'm assuming that with the throttle cable, it'll return it equally as well. Alright. Probably should have put an air cleaner on it a long time ago, but better late than never. It's a week later. I finally have a day off, and I'm going to get under here. I'm going to try to adjust this clutch as well as I can. It's adjusted about as well as I can get it under here. Taking all the slack out. I'll go back up top and see if I can get it to adjust a little bit more on the quadrant. I finally have all of the slack taken out. I have it to where the clutch cable is not popping off the quadrant up top, but it just doesn't feel right. I mean, it feels like a clutch, but I'm not sure that when it comes time, I'm not sure this thing's going to fully engage and disengage. But I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to carry on and get to that point. I went to install my original seat in my car to test everything out and completely forgot that I had no brackets underneath it because mine were fully automated, the electronic seats, and they burned out a long time ago, and I removed them with the intention of buying manual brackets, and I never did. So I have one of Junior's original seats just sitting in here for now, and I forgot how brutally hard it was to get a seat in this car around this roll cage. And for some reason, Junior's seat is no longer sliding either, which, that's annoying, but it does feel good to sit in my car for the first time in years. This feels pretty good. Oh, there goes the seat sliding back again. Clutch still does not feel like a normal clutch. Let's see how this goes. I almost forgot transmission fluid. That would have been bad. Definitely feels good to be able to row gears, even if just sitting here. It's been sitting for a week. Let's see if it fires. Oh, beautiful! Can't believe that. Sitting in my car in the driver's seat with the engine running. Check this out. Not sure if that engaged the gear or not, but it should be in first gear. Let's see. It is! We have first gear! Yes! Feels like reverse engaged. Let's see. Yes, we have reverse. I'm seated in my car for the first time in 26 years with it running. Yes! That was fun, but I might actually be dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. Worth it. So worth it. I'm not sure the clutch is going to engage and disengage well enough for the street and driving yet. I'll probably need a new clutch cable. It doesn't feel right, but it did engage all the gears and it moved the tires. That's great. I'll be honest, I don't remember why I took these down. I guess to get some slack out of them or something, but I gotta put these back up so I can get the car on the ground and get it ready to roll out of here. Part of my cable problem with the clutch cable could be that I never did mount it anywhere. I can't remember how this thing mounts. I don't have any two holes that are lining up, but I guess I'll figure that out and get that mounted. I accidentally found the correct bolt and installed it in the correct location. Crazy. Finally remembered to mount the fuel pressure regulator again. Mounted might be kind of a loose, vague term for what I've done, but anyway, it's there. The next order of business is to swap out these valve covers. I like them. They look okay. But these Trick Flows are very short, stubby valve covers. They barely fit over the roller rockers. And as you can see, they have no provisions for a PCV or breather or anything. Stephen Holtz from Just Drive It was kind enough to trade me these for the Trick Flows. They are tall, polished aluminum valve covers, or At least they were polished and pretty when they were on Junior's car a while back. Technically, they belong to Steven. He's going to take the trick flows. I'm going to take these. I'm going to put a breather cap on one side, PCV valve, and a catch can on the other side. I'm kind of thinking that the lack of PCV might be what's blowing oil out the engine. That's better. I still don't have the PCV or the breather or the grommets or anything, but I prefer this look over the blue trick flow valve covers. It's more what I'm looking for. I'm a little nervous to fire this up with the open grommets in the valve cover because I'm afraid there's going to be blow by, but I guess I got to figure it out now. Huh. All right. No smoke, no nothing coming out the valve covers. I'm happy. A big problem with the clutch is that the steering column is not mounted. When I'm going to push the clutch, you actually see the entire steering column moving. I think that's a big problem with my lack of clutch pressure. I need to find all the brackets and braces that hold this up. I'm glad that I crawled back under here to take another look at the fuel lines. These two were actually leaning against the header, against the muffler. And that's a bit extreme even for me. I may not be the biggest stickler for safety rules, but I really don't want my car to burn to the ground. We got Junior in white trash. Put in first gear, buddy. Put the clutch in, put in first gear, let it out. We're gonna do a brake check. All right, hit the brakes, buddy. Are you on the brakes? Oh, that did not stop very quickly. Do it again. Put the brakes all the way down on the floor. All right, hit the brakes. That's not great. Hold on. Hit the brake. All right, the front seems to be working okay. Let off the brake. Hit the brake. All right, good. Hey, boy. Give a couple blips to the throttle. Sounds good, doesn't it? Couple little minor things. The only PCV valve I could find appears to be the right width and diameter, but it's way too long, so I'm going to cut the end of this off since I don't need to hook it to anything. I just need it to sit there. The other problem is the bolt holes on these valve covers versus the trick flow heads is a little off. You have to basically use a dead blow hammer to hammer them into place and run a bolt or a stud, and then it's really hard to get them off. So I'm going to just ream the valve cover bolt holes just a tiny little bit to make them fit a little better. Fixed. And I confirm that it does sit up above the baffle, so it has room to draw air, it's not hitting anything, and it seats in there properly. So I'm good to go there. I reamed out the bolt holes that were giving me trouble on both sides. Now the valve covers just pop on and off really nice and easy, but they're still firm. Just reamed out the bolt holes ever so slightly, like a millimeter. Got the PCV hooked up, should be good to go. It's almost time to put it on the ground and start moving it. And just to make me feel better, oh man, she starts so smooth and fast. Huh, weird. Let's try that again. Why are you wanting to stall? Well, it's idling now. Look who's finally decided to join us now that school's out. No more excuses, boy. Hey, where'd all your hair go?
It's in our trash can.
Yeah, someone decided to embrace his future and embrace the balding young and cut his hair. We are just a few hours away from getting white trash out of the garage. We got to do some exhaust work, and then mostly it's a matter of getting years of junk out of the way, and we're going to put the car on the ground and get it out of here. I'm excited. Are you?
Yes, the Father.
Good answer. Congratulations, the boy. You get to crawl under the car and cut those turn downs that are too long off. The turn downs that you clearly installed incorrectly.
Yes, yes.
Good job. We figured out that we really can't get the Sawzall in there to do exactly what we want, to cut at the exact angle we want. So rather than trying to make a perfect cut and retacking them back on, Junior's just going to cut that same 45-degree angle right there. Just about 2 inches shorter just to clear the rear axle. And we're going to call it good. Not a big deal. Those are, I think, $10 turn downs. Yeah, the car's in a really awkward position, so Junior's just going to cut right there. One down, one to go. So long turn downs, but it's for the greater good. One of the last things I had to do was to make this bracket for the gauges. For now, they're going to face this way so I can monitor the engine while I'm under the hood messing with it. However, just a couple of quick little screw off nuts and I'll flip it around. Junior's inside the car, even though you can't see him. Wave the boy. Maybe you can see him. Anyway, and he said when these are facing the other way, you can see him perfectly fine from the driver's seat, and that is the goal. So when the car is in motion, I'll flip those around, and they should be underneath the 4-inch hood cowl over here. Before we put the car on the ground, I'm doing one final check of everything under here. I forgot I loosened this motor mount to lift up the engine a while back. I'm just making sure every nut is in place, every cotter pin, everything we would need to drive this thing once it's street legal and registered and all that. Why is my transmission leaking? Ugh. Oh wait, that's a premature ugh. That's the transmission fluid I poured out the top when I was filling it up. That is not cool. My other motor mount bolt was loose. This one's completely missing. I don't even know where it went. I can't find it. I'll have to go to the hardware store and buy a new one. Both motor mount bolts are in and torqued down. Sure, I'm glad I came under here for one final inspection. Neither one of my A-arm bolts on this side of the car were tightened down at all. They're just sitting here. That could have been dangerous. Wow. Past Chris really screwed future Chris. I left the entire suspension completely loose. We've been under here with hand wrenches trying to torque all this down, which I'm glad we did because it would have been bad if we'd have driven like this. But I think the entire front suspension is now properly torqued down all the way around. We're ready to put the car on the ground. Let's do this, boy. There are our hideous chopped off turn downs, but at least they cleared the axle now. Time to put the back of it on the ground and get it rolling. She is finally back on the ground again. Feels good. Tomorrow's project, to clear a path. So I went to push the throttle with the pedal, and the throttle cable popped off our carburetor stud here. It's really, really loose. I put a bigger carburetor stud on it, and it is also very loose. I don't know what is going on here, but our throttle cable doesn't want to stay put. It just pops off really easily. And changing to the bigger stud, I also had to change holes, which binds the cable a little bit. So I don't like this. Our throttle cable just completely came apart a moment ago, and we put it back together, but I'm going to put a hose clamp on this to keep that from happening again. I did not like that. I went back to the original carburetor stud because using the other hole was binding the cable. I think I've got this pretty much set properly now. Put a hose clamp on it to hold it tighter. It's not popping off anymore, but it's not really stable. I think the problem is this is pulling too much of an angle this way. This needs to be scooted over to pull straight back against this cable. It's pulling at an awkward angle, and I think that's what's popping off the cable. Stab the gas pedal a little, just real quick. Again. Well, the garage is cleared. The driveway is cleared. It is finally time. Good job, Christopher. Junior did 95% of this on his own. We are going to have to take the hood off though so it doesn't fall and shatter. But it is time to move the car. I also have to lower my gauges a little. The hood is riding on top of them. Disappointing, but not a huge deal. It is time. Got to wipe off the windshield so I can see where I'm going, and the car is coming out. I forgot how badly broken this windshield was. I thought I replaced it after having a minor wreck, but I did not. The windshield is much worse than I thought it was. You can actually feel the different panels. So I have to have a new windshield here very soon. I wouldn't drive it on the street like this. The boy's getting ready to start the car. All right, power's on. Go ahead, boy. Make sure it's going to idle before I try to pull it out. Here we go. Whoa, the clutch is an on-off switch. Oh my God, the clutch. You breathe on it and the clutch flies open and engages the gear. Wow. Outside! We are outside! Yes! Yes! White trash is outside! Oh, that isn't good. My shock just popped loose. That's very bad. Trash is outside! White trash is outside, yes! She's beautiful! Flowmasters in the cam shop is amazing. Oh, whoa, she is fat. You ought to see the black cloud of smoke it's putting out. Do it again. Good job, boy. This is the longest it's ever run, but I think we're burning oil. I don't think that's just painting off the headers. I think we're actively burning oil somewhere. I'm not sure where. I don't see anything leaking, but it sure does look like oil smoke. Definitely leaking oil out of the valve cover. Hopefully that is all it is. That is brand new fresh oil right there. Hopefully it's just a little bit of oil dripping on the headers. Yeah, there's fresh oil on both sides. Damn it. But I mean, that's not as big a deal. She has been running for quite a while, still staying cool. Good oil pressure. Those are both huge victories. The vibration inside this car is insane. Flowmasters are, oh my God. You can hear it rattling. Everything is rattling. Yes! Beautiful! The valve covers were a lot looser than I thought they were. I tightened them down and the smoking's almost completely gone now. That is some paint burning off the headers right there. I think we're done leaking oil. V definitely had a couple oil leaks in white trash while she was sitting here. Hopefully that's under control now. Funny story, Christopher Jr. has never stood where he is standing. For long before he was born, white trash had been sitting here. It has been running a very long time. Still great temperature. We got to shut it off so we can go get more gas before it dies. We have multiple leaks in the carburetor. Looks like that little plug right there is leaking. It looks like the accelerator pump is leaking. Probably have 10 different leaks. Luckily, Junior is going to rebuild this here soon, and we're going to do a video on teaching a teen to rebuild a carburetor. The beast demands to be fed. The boys beginning the process of getting rid of our 26 years of garage dust. Not a great bath, but a bath. We even threw the hood cowl on real quick, rinsed it off. If you're wondering what this is, that was my buddy's race shop in the 90s. The gauges are fixed. We lowered them 1/2 inch. The hood no longer rests on them. They're tucked up behind the cowl, and that's where they're going to sit. Let's see what they look like from inside. That's exactly what I needed. Perfect. I just realized how insanely loud this clutch is. I don't know if that'll show up on camera, but wow. Clutch chatters quite a bit and it goes away when you push on the clutch. I am going to try to turn this thing around and get it back facing the other way into my garage. Success. But oh my God, this clutch is insane. I'm definitely going to have to adjust the crap out of it. It is an on-off switch, but it's an on-off switch right off the floor. We are at idle. We're moving. It is not just the camera. These Flowmasters are very echoey. It is very hard to hear the cam. It's just one big rumble. I'm going to run it for a while until the battery goes out probably. I know roller cams don't need to be broken in, but the rings need to seat. You know, the bearings need a little wear. The oil needs to work its way through the engine a few times. Everything just needs a little run time. That's why I credit Junior's running so well, is because we idled it and ran it so long before we got it on the street that everything was ready to rock and roll when we started riding it hard. I lowered the idle quite a bit to get a little more cam chop. Not a lot has changed though. It is very difficult to hear the cam. It is just one big rumble. This thing is 10 times louder than this thing. Standing right here in between them, I can't even hear Junior's car. I don't even know if the camera can pick this up. It is so loud in here. It is echoing so bad. Luckily, this battery only has the fire of the MSD box. There's nothing else on this car. So it's been running quite a while. Just making sure it's not going to overheat and we don't have any leaks, and letting those rings set and just letting it run a little. doors in my car for the first time since 1999. Breathe that fresh 93 octane. We got to make some room in the garage. Got to move this entire stack of stuff and those golf clubs somewhere, because I measured it. That is exactly where I need to open the door to get in and out of the car. It is going to be one heck of a tight fit right in here, but I'm going to get the car in so I can start doing more work on it. I am ashamed to say that I stalled it out trying to pull it in the garage. The clutch is so sensitive, such an on-off switch, that I could not hold it, man. I was trying to feather it and it stalled. So embarrassing. Car's back in the garage. There are a few little things I didn't notice earlier, such as missing a bolt in the top of the strut over there, and then I put the struts on wrong. They both popped out of their housing, so I'm gonna have to take the front end, or take the tires, take the struts off here soon and fix that. I went to pull out earlier and both of them popped out of their housing. That's my fault, rookie mistake. I just got in a hurry and wasn't paying attention. Great work here lately, buddy. Thank you very much. It wasn't on video earlier, but Junior and I had a heck of a hard time getting this thing to start, to get it into the garage. And I started thinking, man, as much black smoke as it's blowing, I bet those plugs are fouled beyond fouled. And look at that. Oh my God, you can wipe the soot off. So yeah, it's running a little bit fat. We need to back the car out of the garage again to get some things done around here, but I'm not sure the spark plugs are going to cooperate. Let's see. Oh, that was surprisingly easy. Can't believe it. I can't believe those things started. How could I have made such a rookie mistake twice? I'm pretty sure our clutch linkage is dragging on that header. That's the sound. I'm also not sure you can hear that sound over the engine. Anyway, that's something I'll have to address later. Time to pull her back in the garage and put her away for a few days. That is it for now. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping to do little things like find the nut for the strut, fix both struts. I need to clearance the clutch cable arm away from the headers, wire up some sort of ignition switch, or fix the neutral safety switch in here. I will probably have Junior weld up the big gaping hole for the shifter, adjust the throttle cable where it quits binding and sticking open and coming apart, and I'll remove the carburetor and tighten everything up and replace the Teflon tape in it, see if I can get it to quit leaking. If I can't stop the leaking, I'll have Junior rebuild it, and that'll be part of another video that I'm going to do where we rebuild a couple of different carburetors. I teach him step by step how to do it. Thank you for watching. This was very important to me. This was a great week, and I can't wait to get to do more on this car. As you can tell, it's hot in Texas. We are sweaty, but nothing but smiles. This is all a victory. I love it. White Trash is doing great. We had nothing but fun. If you caught the last video, Junior's car is doing great. We didn't get very much time to film an outro on that or anything, but Junior's car firing right up, starts every time, starts fast, starts strong. It's running better than it's running a long time. So everything is going great around here. It would be slightly better if it was about 20 degrees cooler, but this is Texas. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. We'll be back, hopefully, with more about White Trash soon. Not his car. Please, God, not his car anymore. I'm about to tap out on that thing. But Hopefully for now, we're going to enjoy his car and keep working on mine and getting mine ready for the street. Thank you for watching.